Hi, and I'm back with live interviews from the Astana Economic Forum. And with me, I have Mr. Yonov Frederick Agah, the Deputy Head of World Trade Organization. Mr. Agah, thank you so much for agreeing for the interview. The World Trade Organization really pushes forward world trade, but we see the rise in protectionism and rise of sanctions worldwide. How are they affecting world trade?
Well, I think what you see for now is rhetoric. I don't think any of the sanctions have actually come into effect. The impression for us in the WTO is based on the monitoring reports that we undertake. And I want to assure you that these reports are actual submission of measures taken by members. So from our perspective for now, we have not really seen trade restrictive measures as such. Although the rhetoric and counter-threat and counter-threat is not healthy for the global economy. It creates uncertainty. And now that trade growth is regaining, is back on the rise, one would hope that members don't behave in a manner that will backslide. So it's important for us to ensure stability so that the contribution of trade to economic development, to economic growth will be more enhanced, particularly at a time when many developing countries and some countries like Kazakhstan have joined the WTO to take advantage of the international trading system.
I see. Okay. You come from Nigeria, which is one of the largest economies in Africa, and with the largest population, the fast-growing population as well. And we, being in this part of the world so far apart, know so little about Africa. And I hear many speakers speaking about Africa being as a promising continent, as a continent with great potential. Tell me more about it.
Well, it's true. Africa is the next frontier of development. If you look at the population dynamics, look at education, the level of education, if you look at the infrastructural deficit, to many, these infrastructural deficits are like challenges to development. But to investors, these are investment opportunities, whether it's in energy, manufacturing, logistics, name it. So I think people need to look out to Africa. Part of the challenges in Africa have been structural transformation from commodity-dependent economies to more diversified, export-oriented production. And that we need investment. So I hope many businesses, many of the development partners will see Africa as an opportunity. And moreover, with the creation of the Continental Free Trade Area, you can compare Africa with China, with India, because you are now talking of over 1.23 billion people. So I think it's something that needs to be looked at. So how the international community or countries like Kazakhstan link up and benefit, share their development experiences with African countries can be very crucial in this strive.
I absolutely agree. And in this regard, where do you think are the areas of cooperation for Central Asia and Kazakhstan in particular and some of the African countries?
Well, you know, I looked at Kazakhstan from an economy dependent on oil and gas.
In which we're very similar.
Yes, but you have been able to diversify. So how did you do it? That can help economies like Nigeria, Angola, that are currently heavily dependent on oil. So, I mean, there are lessons to be learned.
Exactly.
Either is it because through the educational sector, curriculum development, or government investment in key sectors that become the pillars of development. We need to, is it civil service efficiency, bureaucracy? These are things that people need to look at. Because when you look at the opening session, they are not talking of the world today, the world in the next 50, 100 years. So how do you prepare the people for that kind of world? I think that should be the issue.
Exactly. Thank you, Mr. Agah. This has been an insightful interview. For more updates on the Astana Economic Forum, please follow us on Facebook.